scary enough to make people go away. If you really need to. It's not elegant, but...
And if you really do need a stereotype about Haitians, they really do love machetes.
Everyone loves machetes. It's just a matter of it being cheap and easy to, like,
Yeah, but
use.
it is a stereotype about Haitians because...
Yes, I know it's a stereotype about Haitians.
They used it in their revolution.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you got, that's what you got. The trick is, a good sword, quote unquote, would cost a minimum of, like, $150 to like $500. $150 just to get one that's basically usable.
Why are they saying they eat cats and dogs and not like, ooh, they're macheting people?
Bro, I don't know, because most of them aren't really doing anything weird and they're just trying to make up something about them.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like it is an actual thing for the Haitians to
eat cats and dogs?
No, to use machetes to like kill, white people and stuff. So
everyone uses machetes to kill white people.
Yeah, but the Haitians are known for it.
I don't know. It just seems like such a generic thing to be known for.
No, it's not a generic thing.
Yeah, Mexicans fucking use machetes. I use machetes. They're machetes. They're a very common and basic tool. It's just a long, heavy knife.
You're a Haitian, okay? How many times do we have to tell you?
Look, man.
Suddenly becomes Dominican.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not going to try to go for an islander accent there. I've heard enough of them, though.
I feel so bad for Caribbean islanders.
Yeah, they get exploited a lot.
Not even that. It's the weather that I feel the worst about.
The hurricanes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
Like, I can't even imagine they can build buildings, pretty much.
You can. You just have to be very mindful of placement.
I see pictures of, like,
stuff.
Caribbean island, like, residential places, and it's all, like, shack buildings and all built into, like, a mountain.
Mm-hmm. You just got to be simple and pragmatic.
And like all the nice places are tourist traps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I've been to those places. The alcohol was free. Okay, well, which is kind of a misnomer. We paid out the ass, but I could ask for alcohol and they would give it to me at any point in time. Because we had already paid for the alcohol, I guess.
Not really a thing anymore. You only get so many now.
It depends on where you go. I've been on both before.
Oh yeah, okay. My folks are on a cruise right now, and it's
Carnival.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but like you pay so much, and you get like 15 drinks a day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like $100 extra on your ticket per night.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. We bought the infinite drink package, so. And yes, they do still cap it off at like 15, 18 or so a day or something like that.
That's
but I'm like basically a full-blown alcoholic. And I think I only actually hit the top end of that once. And I think one thing is my wife doesn't drink so much, but I don't feel like I drink any of her drinks. Like I only drink her drinks like once or twice.
They cheap about it, they load you up. You know, some people will like pour you a little bit of alcohol and like fill the rest of it with soda, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't really have too much of a choice on me, unless they were being very sneaky about it. Because 9 times out of 10, I said, "Pour me a glass of champagne, pour me a beer, or pour me a double shot of X whiskey."
Oof.
So, and then I would watch them pick up the bottle and pour the shot, and they couldn't really put filler ingredients in because I didn't ask for any.
Yeah.
And I had an infinite Coca-Cola
Champagne's
cup.
pretty nice. I like champagne.
I like champagne too. I'm a big champagne lover.
Do you like mimosa?
Oh, yes. One of my favorite mixed drinks I make is something I call a screwed up mimosa, where you just take the idea of a screwdriver and a mimosa and combine the two.
Mm.
You take equal parts, and I use flavored vodka because you're trying to keep the drink kind of fruity. I prefer watermelon myself, but so I've got like a watermelon flavored vodka at about 35% alcohol by volume. Just basically pour yourself one shot of that in the bottom of a big wine glass. 1 equal part orange juice on top of that. Now you've got a tiny screwdriver in the bottom of your your wine glass, and then you just top the whole thing off with your favorite champagne.
Nice.
Bam. Screwed up mimosa.
One thing we did, this is a mimosa, but your watermelon vodka reminded me of something I did with watermelon vodka.
Love me some watermelon vodka.
And we took a seedless watermelon.
Oh.
We drilled out the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
We put the vodka in there and let it drain out into the juices of the watermelon.
Yes, a drunk watermelon. I've heard of this.
Yeah, and we had a pool party where, we cut up that watermelon, and it was spiked with alcohol.
Yep.
2 bowls of watermelon.
Nice. Big ass watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing that with everything from vodka to Everclear.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I will warn you, the closer to the center you get, the more alcohol you taste. It is, that was becoming rubbing alcohol quick.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Once you got towards the center. But, hey, that's what cheap alcohol turns into.
Yeah, I suppose so. I hope you didn't use Aristocrat or something.
I don't remember what we used. Then Sadie
Probably
wants some
Burnett's.
attention.
Yeah, she might need to go back outside.
Okay, Patrick, you can come back with us. Just fade us in slowly. Like all this needs to be quiet, and then just fade back in on, and yeah, and I think that's why
We're back.
we're back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dog need go pee. It was
Dog
very,
was warning us.
Yep.
Mostly Eric,
Mm-hmm.
not me.
Yep.
He didn't care whether I knew.
She was ready to piss on Will.
A golden shower, they would have called it.
Mm-hmm.
A $5 lemonade stand. Some others would have said.
Why $5?
Half off.
Oh, so it's normally $10?
Yeah, but she a bitch.
I mean, shit. Is that how much it costs? Now I'm like, is that too little to piss on someone or too much for lemonade? Like, I'm trying to figure out in my mind.
Well, a gallon of lemonade? No, a gallon of lemonade's probably about $5. You're not getting a gallon of lemonade for less than $5.
I don't know.
No, dude.
Like, I mean, if you're getting some cheap stuff, I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like you could get at least a gallon of lemonade for less than $5.
There's no cheaper thing you can do than lemonade.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So
Unless
I'm saying you can probably... I know I could make a gallon of lemonade for less than $5. That's for sure. I could make some pretty decent lemonade for less than $5, actually.
Everyone can. I'm saying if you're buying store-bought lemonade...
I think there's an option cheap enough out there to where I could get away with a whole gallon for less than $5.
You're crazy.
You don't budget shop very often.
Apparently. You don't budget shop very often. I'm telling you, there's nowhere on this planet right now.
Okay, that's a lie. There are countries with
where
much worse economies.
Lemonade by the gallon for $5.
If you go somewhere a lot poorer than us...
Name one country right now.
Mexico? Jamaica?
What kind of currency does Jamaica even use?
Dollars? Jamaican dollars? They just look like other dollars, but they have Jamaican people on them.
They use dollars, then it's probably $5 like the rest of the dollars.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's $5 USD. My $5.
Yeah.
$5 from my wallet could probably buy 2 gallons of lemonade in the right country.
Nah, not in Jamaica. They got it. It's more expensive because of the hurricanes. They gotta ship it over.
Is that your logic there?
Yeah, they gotta ship it over through the hurricanes.
I think lemon trees are like one of the few things that would actually have a decent time living in Jamaica.
I think you're wrong. I think lemon trees actually are.
They have a lot of sea grapes there too.
Deathly
They're really
allergic to hurricanes and are mostly grown in the West, a la California, like almond trees and avocado trees.
Isn't Florida famous for its oranges?
But not its lemons. Checkmate, atheist.
I feel like oranges are genetically very similar to lemons and grow
if
in
they
a
were,
very
they
similar.
would be yellowers and not oranges.
Is that how that would work? Is that what makes something closer to an orange, it being named after its color?
Well, no, if it was
so limes are cool because they're lime green, but lemons, they're something completely fucking different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
No, if it was
lemons and oranges,
if oranges
very not related to each other at all.
If oranges were named after the lemon, then it would be named after the color, so it would be a yeller.
Not sure what the name actually has to do with anything.
Well, why is it called an orange?
You know, actually, I am wondering.
Yeah, you wonder a lot, don't you?
Whether the color or the fruit got the name first. Oh, now I'm fucking with you hardcore. Which one was it, Will? Is the color orange named after the fruit? Or is
obviously
the fruit named after the color?
Fruit was named first and then the color came.
Well, what about lime green?
Well,
it's lime green.
Well, obviously in that scenario, they saw grass first, and the caveman who described the grass first was like, "Ugh, that's green grass." And no, let me cook.
Okay. All right.
And then there's three cavemen, and he looked to his left and he went, "That's green grass."
Okay.
And that caveman off to his left went, yeah, you're right." And then he looked to his right and went, "That's green grass." And that caveman was standing next to a tree. And that tree happened to be growing limes. Let me cook.
Okay.
No, let me cook.
Okay.
And that guy was taking down a lime, and he was like, actually, this is lime green. And then he got stabbed by the caveman who said, "Ugh, green grass." And so then the caveman to the left, who had already agreed that green grass was the first green, then looked, and behold, he saw a lime tree, and the caveman in the middle picked up the lime and went, "Look, the next green color, lime green."
This is as insightful as it is accurate, I'm sure.
It's so accurate.
And incredibly coherent and easy to follow.
It's so incredibly coherent and easy to follow. There's a guy in the middle. He stabs the guy on the right, and he declares that this is a new type of green because the old
green.
No, he was the one who declared that the green in the middle, that the grass green was the first green, and that the lime green is second.
And then the tornadoes and the hurricanes went to war.
Yeah, for Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
I almost said
Makes sense.
Taco Bell.
That would be ridiculous, Will. Keep your head in the game. Pay attention here.
Yeah, who would go
We
to
need
war
to
for
talk
Taco
about
Bell?
like coherent things here. You're losing the audience. I can see them.
There was a guy
They're getting guns.
in Texas.
They're very angry.
And I might have already told the story. I don't remember.
Yeah, there was a mattress.
No. Well, he was also going to the dumpster, but he slipped and shot himself with his gun in his chest. He died in the hospital later.
What the fuck was he doing?
Just going to the dumpster.
How the fuck did he shoot himself in the chest while slipping and falling?
You know, that's a good question. Like, was he just like carrying the gun barrel into the sky? Like, you know how
Well, I need to know what the gun is too, I suppose.
I hope it was like something dumb.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. Like, I have too many questions for this one because I was just like, I take out the trash with a gun all the time. But it's like a pistol on my belt.
Yeah,
you know?
like you could see yourself getting shot in the leg, maybe.
Yeah.
But why the chest?
Even then, I mean, I guess it depends on what gun you have and what the fuck you were doing. Because my gun wouldn't really do that unless I just got super unlucky. Maybe. I mean,
like the gun goes off, it hits the ground, then hits the wall, bounces off the wall into your chest.
Okay, I don't know why it had to hit two separate things. But
Why can't it not hit two separate things?
because it loses energy every time it ricochets.
Maybe it picked up more energy when it ricocheted off the second object.
Yes, maybe these bullets were from the same magazine that shot JFK and they're all magic. And then a gnome used a curse that made the bullet bounce off things until it hit the guy in the chest.
No. Hold on.
Sorry, goblin, not gnome.
How can it not be that, like...
It's just more unlikely.
Okay, but that does not mean that it's not necessarily true.
Occam's razor, my friend.
Yeah,
it's more likely that
Occam's razor only states that it is likelier that the simplest explanation is the truth, not that it is 100% definitely true that is always the simplest explanation, which would mean that you don't necessarily have to go with the simplest explanation.
No, but barring any extra information, you should. Because
JFK got shot by lizard people.
Well,
and the mafia.
See, that half works.
You're right.
Saying that the mafia
the
somehow
people
had
is
something.
way more believable. It was the mafia that went too far.
So, like,
it was for real. The mafia was blamed for the JFK assassination.
A lot of stuff is sketchy about the JFK assassination.
Yeah, mostly
but you
the
have to
people.
You have to listen to like 2 or 3 hours worth of information just to like get into it.
There's a lot of background on the lizard people.
Not the lizard people, but the fact that sketchy shit happened.
They do have a lot of background.
The CIA probably killed JFK if it was anyone, but and the FBI probably killed Martin Luther King. But anyway,
wow. Well, the FBI was literally
they literally lost a court case about that. But anyway,
well, they were literally sending him letters to kill himself, like. To go kill himself.
You know, they literally lost like a civil case about this. I don't know all the details, but that's so weird. And MLK's son.
Yeah, I think it's really weird that you want to acknowledge the lizard people that were there the day of JFK's assassination.
I didn't see any lizard people there.
Well, you weren't born then.
Sure. Sorry, I need to clean my eye with my tongue sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's...
If I don't blink long enough, I just need to kind of flick that up there and make sure that eye's good.
Something. Do you think that you could kill Bigfoot with a 22?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I need a little bit of luck on my side, of course, but give me the right 22. Yeah, I could do it. 22 is a good round. People underestimate it a lot. It wouldn't be what I'd choose to go hunting for Bigfoot with.
What would you choose to go hunt Bigfoot with? Like the government comes in and they're like, all right, Bigfoot is in Washington State Park.
Mm-hmm.
We need you to hunt him down.
Mm-hmm.
It's your choice of weapon.
Mm-hmm. I'd probably go with I guess I don't really know of a good model specifically, but like a higher caliber semi-automatic scoped rifle. maybe something in the like a Dragunov or something like that. Not a Dragunov, but something like that, I guess. And then I would also have a decent quality Bowie or machete knife, coupled with a
You sure you're not Haitian?
44 caliber or 44 Magnum,
Machete
like
knife.
Colt Python. Well, I need something, you know.
and machetes.
Well, I own a few. I like Bowie knives a little better.
You just like hurting plants, don't you? You just like cutting up the woods.
Yeah, I live in the woods, and I'm a human. So that means I carve my own path through all of the rest of life, and I make it bend to my will.
Well, that's
with my
silly.
superior
Most
tools.
humans don't go 3 miles from their original home.
Okay, what does that have to do with me murdering things
That
in my
means
yard?
that most humans aren't nomadic, which means that it's not. It's
What's
very human.
nomadic?
It's very human to stay in one area, which means you're not human, you fucking lizard person.
But I'm not nomadic.
Nor would you be human because we're aliens, so doesn't work out.
Yeah, besides that, yeah, I'm not sure why you're accusing me of being human, to be honest, but I was a little confused there. It's like
yeah.
the lizard people are the ones who deliver, you know, the food.
Yeah. Yeah, they do DoorDash a lot.
They're the only ones who, you know, do mid-orbit.
Yeah, which is weird because they're subterranean.
Hey, but they're far more advanced than humanity, so.
Yeah, you just wouldn't think that they'd spend a lot of time
And with their human
with
cloaking.
their space technology.
Yeah, but with their human cloaking tech and the like, you know, they can actually go and like, you know, they can get you Taco Bell within 15 minutes, so.
It's convenient.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to pay a little extra, but
Oh, I guess you know what we forgot?
to talk about Space Marine 2 again.
Hey, everybody.
Oh,
I'm
welcome
Will.
to
That's Eric. This is the AnythingCast.
welcome to the AnythingCast. This
Patrick's
is Eric.
not here. He had to go talk to a few friends of ours in Lebanon,
Mhm.
so he's not here today.
He's cooking. He's
Yeah.
cooking. He's got something going.
Yeah, I think he said something about delivering some PDAs.
Oh shit! It started raining. That's why the Chihuahua's not happy. Hold on.
It was a hurricane last weekend, wasn't it?
There's a hurricane right now.
what's
Smashing into like the.
What's this hurricane's name?
Fuck if I know.
Guess it's not very famous then, is it?
I didn't say it was famous. I
Well,
just said
you
it's
would
happening
think,
right
You would
now.
think with being a hurricane, it'd be a little well known.
We have a hurricane or two every year. What was the last hurricane called?
Okay, look, they're
Name 3 hurricanes that have happened since Katrina.
Harvey, Weinstein.
Not a media hurricane. I mean like a tropical depression that accelerates into a category 1 through 5
Two separate
hurricane.
hurricanes. What are you talking about? Cosby.
Are you confusing hurricanes with rapists?
Crazy to think that hurricanes are gonna get way worse in the next 30 years.
Yeah, that sucks.
And more frequent too.
Yeah, I mean, I've slowly kind of watched that happen over the last 30 years, so I don't know. It sucks, but it's just not surprising anymore. Like, you know, like, I don't know. It's not even like a loss of empathy or something. It's just like
Apathy.
I mean,
Apathy. It's apathy. It's what it is. It's apathy.
I only have so much like emotional capability to care about shit that's happening, you know, outside of my hometown, more or less, like the rest of the state, the rest of the nation, the 2 neighboring nations, or something halfway across the world. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you something you should care about.
Mm,
Whales. And the fact that they're
I like whales.
attacking boats.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty based.
They're, humpback whales and orcas are like attacking boats.
Mm.
Taking out like rudders and stuff.
Well,
I don't think they've attacked any people yet, but there is a dolphin who's been sexually assaulting
yeah, I'm familiar with this. I think we've discussed all of these things before.
people
to be
off
honest.
of the coast of Spain.
Mm-hmm. Dolphins are little sexual predators now, man. They go nuts.
They're rough. I had a bunch of dolphins taking fish from me when I was off fishing off the coast.
Yeah, they're
heavy. They're very heavy.
Yeah. Dolphins are very heavy. I'm not sure why that's the first thing you would think of.
Well, because I felt the weight of them as they dove down into the deep.
How'd you feel the weight of them?
What do you mean? How did I know? I felt the weight of them grab the fish that was on my hook.
There you go. I was about to say, you need to be a little more specific. I thought they were just snatching fish out of the water near you guys. You didn't say they were snatching them off your rod.
No, they were snatching them off the rod.
Okay. Did you lose any hooks?
No, the dolphins, funnily enough, they're smart enough to know how the hooks work.
Ha! Good.
So
I was actually
it's
worried
like
about that.
A really young dolphin or like an accident.
Yeah. That's one thing I hate when I go fishing sometimes is if I get like a big fish and it gets like caught in the reeds or something as I'm reeling it in. And then like the line breaks and the fish gets away, but he still has a fucking like fishing lure caught in his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, not only did I not get the fish, which I wanted to get, but now I can neither unhook him and send him back nor eat him. And he's just stuck out there with a fucking hook in his mouth, which might even be like, keeping his mouth shut closed if it's like a tri hook or something.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and
luckily
now he's just going to suffocate for no fucking reason, or not suffocate, but starve to death for no fucking reason.
They make hooks to rust away, don't they? Like they rust out of fish mouths.
I don't know about that. I've never heard anything about that.
I've always heard that is that they make them to where they rust out of the fish mouth.
That's the first I've heard of that. I mean, I know it would eventually, but I don't know if it would soon enough for them to not starve to death. I don't know. Because I've seen fish hooks just sitting around outside for like a really long period of time. And yeah, they get rusty, but they haven't dissolved yet.
But I've never seen a dead fish with a hook in its mouth.
Well, I assume that they die in the water and then get consumed by other fish.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I've never seen a floating fish.
Well, they wouldn't
with a hook in its
necessarily
mouth.
Float.
I mean, they would if they died.
If nothing ate them before they started puffing up. But if
what
they started...
I'm trying to tell you is all the times I've been fishing and I've seen a fish floating dead because they're not alive.
Mm-hmm.
No life in them.
Mm-hmm.
The soul is gone to fish Jesus, who has said, "Get away from me, you dirty, rotten fish, for I do not know you."
It's Fish's carp.
And then they went, and they went to fish hell,
mm-hmm.
where Bass Satan was.
I feel like there was a sturgeon joke maybe there somewhere, but it didn't get to me in time. So keep
but Satan. I forgot to force the joke in there.
I don't know. I think there's a devilfish, but that feels too easy.
And they don't get to be with all the angelfish up in heaven. There we go.
There you go.
And
we're coming back. We're reeling it back.
I don't even remember where. I remember where the main topic was.
Oh, fish getting a hook caught in their mouths and dying, and you never seeing corpses of them floating around.
Yeah. I never see.
So you never see this. So you're questioning whether or not it's actually a thing.
Yeah.
I would say that it's a sample size issue. There's so much space, like it only happens every now and again. But it happens enough that surely a lot of fish die. And I know that people talk about like errant fishing shit killing fish in the ocean all the time, but you usually hear them talk about fishing nets. And I think that the reason is because a net floating around has the chance to kill more random things, whereas a single hook and a line is, no pun intended, a drop in the ocean.
Hey, your pepper grinder.
Uh-huh. What about it?
What is that, like $50?
No, I think it's actually a dime.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but the little innuendo names, it's not even an innuendo name, it's just like a
innuendo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Innuendo?
No.
Innuendo?
Innuendo. That's where you're saying something to refer to something else.
I know what
like
it means.
A naughty thing. Okay, I was just making sure that there wasn't a different word called innuendo that I was unfamiliar with.
That's how you say it, innuendo.
No, it's innuendo.
You're innuendo.
No, there's no D.
You're a Wendigo.
Until you get to the dough. Innuendo.
Anyways,
there's no D in the middle.
I like when the stuff made for weed, but you call it something else because it's a product for something else.
Oh yeah, they just for tobacco use only.
yeah. Like people fucking grind up tobacco.
Big glass pipes and shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's how people regularly consume tobacco.
I'm sad that I don't know what it is about wooden pipes, but I'm sad that you can't really smoke weed from them.
It's because they get clogged up too much with the resin that weed creates, and
yeah, I mean,
whereas
it's just sad.
the resin you get from tobacco
and they burn
is like oily.
Also, they burn too infrequently, I've learned. Like you don't keep like a tobacco pipe just like lit. You take a few puffs from it, you get the high, and then you light, like, you light it back up when you want another puff from it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Similar to a marijuana pipe.
Yeah, but with weed, you don't necessarily do that. You smoke a whole thing of whatever.
I mean, that seems more like a personal choice thing. I mean, it's like if I were smoking from a pipe right now, I would probably take a few hits, put it aside.
Pack, I don't think you'd pack a whole pipe and smoke just a tiny bit. I think you would do what you did and put like a little bit. You would pack like a little bit in there and then smoke that.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted more,
you know what? I'm coming back around to you on this one, because part of the reason why I started mixing tobacco and stuff into my weed, if I were to do such a thing, was so that I could smoke a whole bowl without burning through a whole bowl worth of weed. Because that just seemed more economic to me, because I don't need the whole bowl to myself. Yeah, because like with weed, you have to
smoke it all right there, right then, pretty much.
I mean, you don't have to, I guess.
I'm not saying like if you decide, if you bought like an entire brick of weed, you're smoking that brick right now or right here. I'm saying like whatever you're packing, that's what you're smoking.
Generally, yeah. But you can also pack a half a bowl, or, roll half a joint or something like that if you wanted to. Though I think most of the time, a lot of people, if they're smoking a joint by themselves, they'll just smoke half of it and then stub it out and like smoke the other half later. But yeah, you generally do go through.
I'm just saying you couldn't do what you could do with a pipe tobacco, with a tobacco pipe, where it's like you have a little bit, like you can fill an entire tobacco pipe up, and then you would light it, hit it a couple times, and then like it goes out, and then you relight it, hit it a couple times, and then it goes out. You just don't do that with weed. That's all I'm saying.
I'd say it's a little bit more, depends on who's doing it or whatever, but still, I understand what you're saying. Like, and also if you're doing it socially, then absolutely. Because as soon as you add another person in, you're going to be burning through like a bowl at least, or you're generally going to finish a joint, between 2 or more people. So, yeah. And I mean, there's so many factors. How much you loading into that bitch? How big is it? Are the 2 of you sexually attracted to each other?
Yeah.
That last one can have some very minor or very serious effects on how long the weed lasts. Just depends. But I overthink things too much, to be completely honest. I get wrapped up in all the options and stuff.
I wish like the really good weed, how like they can get it to taste it. So CBD wise, if they get it to taste like something else, like they'll have pineapple and blueberry and raspberry and stuff like that.
Be cautious about that stuff because a lot of it's like additives that aren't very good for you.
If they can make it taste like something else, it tends to be very weak.
Well, look at vodka. Look at all the flavored vodkas. They're like 30, 40%. Look at the pure vodka. It's 40 to 50%.
Yeah. So like, I don't know what it is about, I don't know, adding whatever they're adding that like bucks up the chemical to where you just cannot get as good of a high.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the good stuff all tastes like the fucking same, basically.
Pretty much.
And that's how you know it's good, is it tastes like good.
Yeah, I mean, when I buy it these days, it's just like, let's do the smell test. If it's cheap, then the smell test doesn't have to be that strong.
Also,
if it's expensive, I need to be, smelling some.
To any first
sticky icky
time drug users who happen to be listening to this episode of the podcast at this time, at this very moment, if you gotta accept you're gonna be ripped off a few times to learn.
And the best way to deal with that is to just stop buying from that person. Because otherwise you have to go through the black market. Honestly,
you just kind of have to accept a little bit that like and like, okay, like here's like a little bit of a rule of thumb. And I'm not saying like go like illegally go buy shit from a plug or whatever. My rules don't apply there. Go figure out your own rules for that. I'm saying like you're walking into a smoke shop, buying CBD, buying cigarettes, whatever. You gotta try new stuff, basically. Like with CBD, you gotta pick a brand like that to try first. A gram or 2. Be like, boom, be like, mellow fellow, give me a gram or 2 of that. Try it out. Do that for a couple weeks. And then boom, switch it up to something new. And then you're going to switch it up to something new. And that new thing might suck ass. Like, not worth the money at all. You just got to accept it.
Yeah.
You just got to roll with it. Got to be okay with it.
Not all products are built equally.
Not at all.
Some people will be trying to rip you off, as Will said, even in the, quote unquote, like professional retail environment, not just from your plugs, but from, which to be fair, your dirty gas station weed is only like a half step above, a sussy drug dealer. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
They basically are sussy drug dealers.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go.
Just not as independent.
Yeah. Which, I guess some kind of are. Like some of the local, like, Middle Eastern owned gas stations and stuff, they are actually independent. And they're actually generally pretty nice, wholesome people. They just happen to sell a bunch of glass pipes under their counter and, like, crate them and stuff.
Yeah, and thankfully.
Yeah, and I don't care about that. That doesn't really... Honestly, you know what bothers me more?
There's a lot of people that complain about the Indian and Middle Eastern people that come in and buy gas stations around here.
But they're also nice.
But also thank God for them, because without them leading the way, I don't think weed would be nearly as acceptable as it is right now. I'm just saying.
Or at least not as accessible.
I'm just saying, yeah, they have led the charge for weed becoming accessible and acceptable in Mississippi.
Well, and not so much with the Indians or the Sikhs, as far as I'm aware, but I know that
that's right. They're
any
all
Muslim-owned countries are all going to be dry. They don't drink. At least not any amount of conservatism.
Yeah.
Alcohol is generally frowned upon in all of Muslim society for the most part.
I'm a little sad.
But a lot of them smoke the ganj.
Yeah.
And,
opium's real big there.
It is, but
not now.
Mostly selling.
It's banned now.
Yeah, a lot of them were more selling it than they were doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and a lot of it was funding fundamentalist groups and some other
they're having
things.
trouble. Well, they're having some trouble now because they've banned it.
Right. And I'm sure some farmers that were just making normal profits and stuff are kind of pissed at that.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if anyone was buying medicinal opioids from like Afghanistan, Pakistan, or whatever.
I'm sure.
Like, because I can't help but think, that like it can't all be like illegitimate, Like, I'm sure that there were plenty of people
I'm sure
who
they
were
had
just fucking
some
farmers,
I'm sure they've had some legitimate channels. Hell, I'm sure North Korea exports something.
Probably. I'm trying to think because I feel like you can buy North Korean products.
Even
you just
if
have
it's
to go through
even
like
if
10
it's
loopholes.
the people.
Oh, yeah.
I know
I think they actually import people against their will more often than they export people.
I know they export some of their labor to China and Russia.
Yeah, I know that they're known for unwillingly importing like artists and engineers sometimes. Like, I know a lot of their entertainment industry was run by kidnapped South Koreans and a few Japanese people. Like, that was a big thing. Yeah. And I also don't know because everything I hear about North Korea, I hear through a American propaganda lens.
Yeah.
So, like, if there is anything nice to be said about North Korea, no one here is saying it. Like that, I think that's the best way I can put it, is that just no one in the USA is gonna say anything nice to me about North Korea. So if they got something else going on for them, we're not gonna hear about it here.
Yeah.
Like, so I do wonder sometimes, considering like how down bad they make North Korea sound. It's just like, surely not all of that is true, or it's like circumstantially true. Because like, if you were to just look at perfectly true but really bad circumstances that we have here in the United States, like, you could zoom in on some areas and then say that you took a sample from like every state and make this country look like an absolute shithole.
Yeah, for example, despite making up only 5% of the world's population, we hold 25% of its prisoners.
Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, look at our jail systems or something like that. Or the wishy-washy way we try and deal with narcotics, or like, how we constantly waffle on how we want to feel about different kinds of human rights and stuff like that. We're still like leading in a lot of these categories, but because we keep waffling on what is or is not okay with certain things, it's also weird. Like, I feel like it's okay in the United States to be more sexually liberated than it is in most of the rest of the world. Europe is an okay place, but like, it depends on where, and then like, we have more freedom of speech, but then that has its pitfalls too, where we have to deal with a lot of really dumb people saying really dumb stuff all the time, trying to inflame people and the like.
Can you believe that Elon Musk wants to be in the government?
Yeah. I mean,
He wants to be the
billionaire.
He wants to be the what's the cabinet member of government efficiency?
After what he's done to X?
Yeah.
Including but not limited to it being called X now?
Hey, that's only one letter. How efficient is that?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't think we need Elon Musk deciding what is or is not efficient in our government. Now, the idea of somebody monitoring government efficiency, sure, but I feel like once it gets too deep into politics, it starts becoming, well, what is okay and what is not okay to pull money out of or pour money into?
If my government's not being inefficient, is it really being the government?
A pessimistic statement, but not one that doesn't ring at least partially true. I must admit. Because, I mean, that's just the nature of bureaucracy to a certain point. But then it's weird because on one hand, I hate bureaucracy, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like it's just the worst way to get shit done. But then I remember what happens when you just let everyone make decisions independently without like talking to some sort of like council or something.
Yeah, you get the
all
demon
the time.
core.
Yeah, shit gets fucked up. Like, you know, having all these like councils and bureaucrats and stuff is good for us because, you know, it prevents one really racist person from being able to like fuck everything up. Like, because he has to get checked and balanced by like X amount of other people.
Yeah, it stops like crazy people from being like, hey, bomb this border between this country and that country.
Yes, MacArthur.
With nukes.
Yeah, that's why we didn't nuke China. Is because we have bureaucracy. And like, I don't know, because I feel like, you know, there's a point where the inefficiencies will hit like a peak and there'll be so many bureaucrats basically sucking the lifeblood out of society that society will reverse course. Kind of like Rome. You know. Or Trump. Of course, thankfully, Trump doesn't quite have the correct qualifications. It's not a 1-to-1 comparison, thankfully.
Well, the thing about Rome is it had just a shit ton of emperors that were not very good. What were they?
Oh yeah. No. After the first like couple, it got really dicey. First, you had him get rid of the bloodline of like Caesar, which that needed to happen because those guys were getting crazy. I think Nero and Caligula were still part of that bloodline.
Caligula, I think, was one of the final ones.
Yeah, I think by that time everyone was starting to get the picture that maybe there should be some nuance to the selection process. And then you got a few unrelated emperors that came through, and those kind of like varied. One would be pretty good, one would be pretty bad, one would be pretty good, one would be pretty bad. Never got quite as debauched as the Nero Caligula days. Or if it did, they had so little power by that time that nobody cared anymore. You know. And then basically, you know, Rome just slowly devolved. It kept spreading until it hit the like zenith where it split apart, but was still like the same overall group.
Yeah.
And then the West fell.
It was,
and after the West fell, you know, it was all Byzantine from
the
then
Romans
on.
had to know they were cooked by the time of the 4 emperors.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that Byzantine had a good run though.
I don't know. Can you say you had a good run if you get crusaded? If you get sacked by the peasants.
I'm not saying bad shit never happened to them. I'm just saying that they had a pretty good run, generally speaking. Because, I mean, they were able to take Roman society and standards another 1,000 years after the fall of the actual city of Rome. I think that's that's impressive, And they did a pretty good job of it, and were like the bulwark of Christian kingdoms that protected the West from the East. For the longest time, they were the wall with a big old cross stuck on it that, kept any kind of pagans or Muslims from crossing over into mainland Europe.
And it's just too bad.
that more pagans and Muslims didn't cross over into Europe?
Some would say.
I mean, I don't know about that DEI shit, but I will say that like diversity and inclusion are actually generally good. I think so. I mean, from a pure genetics level, it's good to like have sex with diverse people and have babies with other people because it creates stronger gene pools. But that's just a general thing.
We say pagan
healthy
stuff,
population.
But like what?
Pagan just means not Christian.
No, I know,
Jew or
but
Muslim.
I'm not saying what other pagan stuff was out in the East. Like you had Buddhism, Confucianism,
Hinduism, Confucianism.
We had like
Jainism, Zoroastrianism,
4 or 5 other religions.
You had so many little like tribal religions and stuff going along the way. Traditional Mongolian religions weren't the same. There was all sorts of shit going on that way, man. I mean, I don't think the proto, shit, what are they called? I almost said Cossacks.
Who do you think would have won?
Cossacks, the Cossacks.
Vikings or the Huns?
Probably Vikings, but probably not for the reason you're thinking. Mostly just because, well, one, it would depend on the battlefield. Because the two armies are equipped for 2 very different terrains. Huns are plains people, and Vikings were mountain-dwelling sailors. So, pretty different environments there, which is why Vikings didn't use a lot of horses, and the horses they had were kind of stubby and small, whereas the Huns would have incredibly large, fast horses and the like, because they do horseback warfare more than anything else, mostly archery.
Fact about the Huns is when they would, I think it's the Huns, Mongolians, I think, actually.
2 separate groups now.
I think it was the Mongolians who I'm thinking of. Whoever Genghis was a part of.
That would be the Mongolians.
Okay.
Genghis Khan. All the Khans are Mongolians.
Whenever he would take a city, he would take his tent, and every night he would get a different colored tent, and each tent represented something different. Like the first night, the tent was like I don't know, like pure white or something like that, and then it was like you're still allowed to surrender, and a week would go by, and then it'd be like an orange tent, and the orange tent was like, okay, you're still allowed to surrender, but we're only going to kill all the guys. And then like a whole week would go by and be like a red tent, and it's like, all right, there is no surrender now.
Now you've insulted us.
Yeah, pretty much. I like the traffic light tent.
Yeah. I mean, it might as well be green, yellow, red.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can see that. I know he was very strict, and that's worked really well for him. Because it was just like, if you surrender immediately, you're not going to see much change. Except the roads are going to be really safe. And the guys you pay taxes to are going to sound different.
Now the guys you pay taxes to can throat sing.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's a different talent. But I don't really know how much crossover the Mongolian throat singers have with the horseback riding warrior people. might be different. They might be more of like a priestly class.
Well, you
but
don't think
I don't really know.
throat singing comes into great effect when charging a battlefield?
I don't think that they would do that while charging in the battlefield. I think they would do that before going into battle as like an intimidation tactic beforehand, because shit like that requires like a lot of concentration, and you wouldn't want to be doing that at the same time you were like charging.
Have
or
you seen the
trying to knock a
Aztecian
bow.
like animal whistles?
Yes, they're really cool.
They're
Death
fucking-
whistles.
Yeah, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
They can make them sound like anything, dude.
Yeah, they're creepy sound. I like them.
Yeah, like
good, Psychological warfare shit.
I wonder
from the
how they
past.
figured out how much water to put into the jugs to make them sound like that.
They probably just experimented. It would get water in it, and they realized it sounded different, so they tried putting more or less water in it until they liked the noise it made. My guess.
What was with you and your smart ass explanations to everything? You know what? You got such smart ass explanations. How far is the moon right now from the Earth?
A long distance.
That's not true because it's getting closer right now. Look,
Oh shit! Look at that.
it's
That's a little disturbing, actually.
yep.
It's like daytime.
It's got a face on it.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't look happy.
I'm not sure what it looks like. Its teeth look a little off too.
Yeah, I hate
Wait, what are Moon's teeth supposed to look like?
I don't know, but I know dentists wouldn't approve of that.
No, I don't think so. Seems a little bit more Majora's Mask-esque,
Yeah, why
I would
is
say.
I don't know why it's speeding up, but I guess we ought to close out.
Just change our spot in orbit.
Yeah,
That's probably a good idea.
I feel bad for the people in I think that's Australia.
Oh, I don't.
It's nothing they're not used to though.
Yeah. Australia's usually on fire. I wouldn't worry about it.
Typically, it's classic Australia. A classic Australian fire.
Yeah, they'll just think another koala exploded.
They'll just get some shrimp out. It'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll put them on the Barbie, which will be the center of Australia, I guess. Which is already mostly desert, so
And
that's fine.
already hot.
Yeah. So, no big deal.
Okay, well, good luck. Goodbye.
Ah! Sorry, I looked out the window again. It's creeping me out
Shockingly
now.
fast.
It is both fast and, like, off-putting. Like,
Yeah, it's like